key developments within the local agriculture sector, Guyana is well on its way to becoming a self-sufficient, food-secure nation. On this episode of Government in Action, we take a look at the key institutions within the Agriculture Ministry that are responsible for these developments. This is a two-part series which will focus on the work of the Guyana Livestock Development Authority and the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute. On the occasion of World Food Day in October last year, President David Granger said that greater food security is one of the means of eliminating extreme poverty and hunger within the next 15 years. The President has also, during visits to several parts of the country, commented on the vast potential of Guyana's agricultural regions and that they hold the key to Guyana becoming a food-secure and environmentally sustainable country. Moreover, as the food import bill of the Caribbean community stands at a cost of approximately $4 billion, President Granger has said that CARICOM's food insecurity must be reversed if the region is to survive. The President made these comments at the opening ceremony of 2 farm-to-market roads in Pariga in the Essequibo Islands, West Demerara region, and reiterated the need for such areas, which he referred to as agriculture powerhouses, to increase agriculture production.
Our farmers can contribute to regional food security by increasing agricultural output. Caribbean leaders are looking to us, and we are looking to Region 3 for increased agricultural development. Guyana can play a meaningful role in becoming the rice bowl and the vegetable basket of the Caribbean. We can play such a role through investment, through infrastructure, as you're seeing here today, through information, and through innovation.
Of course, Guyana's potential for tackling regional food insecurity also extends past the areas of crop production. It is here where the work of institutions such as the Guyana Livestock Development Authority becomes apparent. The GLDA's mandate is to focus on the improvement of livestock production and ensuring a healthy livestock population so as to provide wholesome livestock products, both meat and dairy, to the farming community countrywide. The GLDA has placed professionals across the country, and this group includes livestock officers, livestock extension agents, veterinary officers, and other professionals who are required to perform visits, support, training, and various forms of assistance to the farmers in those communities. Moreover, Chief Executive Officer of the GLDA, Mr. Nigel Cumberbatch, explained that the Institute's headquarters in Monrepo is also involved in several large-scale programs aimed at research and other aspects of livestock production.
Within the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, we look at all livestock with the exception of fish. Bees, sheep, goat, ducks, chickens, pigs. Here at our location at Monrepo, we have a hatchery where we provide a service for the livestock farmers, mainly ducks. But we do hatch small quantities of chicken eggs. But our hatchery and the services that we provide is mainly for the duck farmers. We have been able over the years to assist the duck farming community to realize the potential. At our hatcheries, we can incubate in excess of 70,000 eggs per week, and we can hatch in excess of 15,000 eggs per week. And I can assure you that our incubators are more than 90% filled as we speak. So we're approaching 100% capacity from that unit. For cattle, we've got, and small ruminants, sheep and goats, we've got a artificial insemination laboratory, and we have been able to collect and store semen for both our cattle as well as the small ruminant sheep and goats. So those are some of the areas that we feel really strong about, really proud about. We are now moving into semen production from the pig sector. And in a very short while, we'll be rolling out that service to the farming community, the swine farming community.
Also located at the headquarters is the newly established Veterinary Services Laboratory. Acting manager of the laboratory, Dr. Dane Hartley, explained that within the 2 years of its establishment, most of the work has involved putting measures in place so as to make the facility fully operational, but added that currently they do provide several lab services and conduct other research-based projects.
Well, from the time that we would have started working at this facility, a lot of work has been put in towards creating an environment that's conducive for working for laboratory work. It was a building that we would have received and equipment, and therefore a lot of the work to make the lab actually functional was what we were doing. Creating SOPs, creating workflows, acquiring materials, buying reagents, and creating links with institutions and organizations that can lend support. So a lot of that is what we've been doing from the time we would have been commissioned to now. And we would have made quite a bit of progress. We would have been able, right now we have a serology department that is pretty much functional. And we are now working on developing the microbiology department in which we are to make that also functional and that it can meet the needs of farmers, exporters, and practicing veterinarians. We are pushing to have departments such as the histopathology and pathology department more functional and better able to serve us. But notwithstanding, serology department is extremely important. We would have seen some of the platforms that we use, ELISA methods, agar gel, immunodiffusion. So those by themselves allow us to perform quite a wide array of test procedures. So building these other departments, it's really to lend support to those that we already have and really allow practicing veterinarians to come up with a really solid diagnosis that can really solve problems that, health problems that farmers or animal owners on the whole would be facing.
A tour of other parts of the facility gave some insight into these projects that the GLDA is undertaking.
This hatchery is basically for hatching of incubation and hatching of duck eggs, and I think we're the only one in the country. So we supply service to farmers, private farmers who bring their eggs in on a weekly basis, and we also have eggs from our farm, the government farm, which comes to incubate on a weekly basis.
All right. How many eggs would you say weekly you hatch?
Right now it's about 11,600 on a weekly basis.
The farm is really to have genetic improved animals for making the offsprings available to farmers. And as you would have went through, we do some ducks, beef animals, dairy, pigs in terms of three breeds, the large white, Jurak and the landrace, and the sheep, which the Virgin Island white, the black belly. And we do a cross with the Texel, with the black belly, and we call those not on a registered breed, but we call them the Texano. That's to increase the black belly meat quality.
Farm manager Mr. Winfield Washington said that so far the farm has been able to produce livestock at a heavier weight within a shorter time, and that they have been using this as a grading system as to their progress.
With the drake, we recorded the drake within 16 weeks. The drake would have had about 14, 15 pounds thereabout. Before we would have known a drake, might have just had about 10, 9 pounds, sometimes even lower than that in 16 weeks. So it's really to increase the meat at a shorter time. So we look at that as a grade system, more so, because we know food security, and so we need to have, if one animal can produce for two at a shorter time, that is a plus.
And we've been achieving that?
Yes, we have been achieving that. And it all comes with the purebred, genetic improved animals. You understand? It don't just come with our local breed.
So when you say genetically improved, we're still using natural methods of improvement?
Yeah, we use natural methods. As you said, you went to the lab. We would have taken semen from the bulls, the beef bulls especially, and we would have extract them, do the processing, put them into straw. That farmers now may not have an improved breed like us, but with the cross breed, the offspring could have about 50% of the improved breed. So right away you start seeing a change in the animal in terms of genes and the characteristics of the genes in terms of development.
The GLDA has also made strides in the area of artificial insemination, having moved from importing semen straws to now using a local product for breeding.
So the purpose of the lab is to add the wider prospect to better the genetic material that we have in the country, and for us to have the ability to process and store and utilize our own semen. So when the semen is collected from outside, it comes in and it is tested for the initial analysis is given, and then we bring it here for the second analysis, which is done with the morphology, the progressive motility, and all this is done. When that information is collected, what we basically do is we calculate to determine the amount of extender that should be added and process. That would give us the amount of straws that we can process. And with that now, we take it and we freeze it and we give it to the AI technicians out in the field who would inseminate the farmer's animal and thereby bettering the genetic breed that we have in the country.
It is hoped that in the future, Guyana could possibly move to even exporting product for artificial insemination purposes in other countries.
We've been successful in processing and inseminating and getting results for the past 5 months now, right? We're still in the learning process, but so far we've seen like about 70% results, and that is very good.
But apart from the projects undertaken, the GLDA also tackles other problems facing the farmers. Currently, the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo region, which is otherwise known for its vast potential in livestock production, has seen significant decline in production. During a recent visit to the Rupununi, Mr. Cumberbatch revealed that the farmers have provided several recommendations that they feel will aid in tackling the issue.
Some of the things that they're talking about include the provision of a new abattoir to assist them to be able to market their meat in a more wholesome manner. The introduction of a number of new breeds and improved breeds of animals so that the animals can get to the market a whole lot faster. They're also looking at the expansion of a number of marketing opportunities, marketing their meat to Georgetown and, if possible, to Brazil.
As a result, the GLDA is also working closely with the farmers and has increased its staff complement in the area as well.
We've had discussion, and we are still having discussion as we speak, with the Inter-American Development Bank. And we are looking with their assistance to ensuring that the slaughter facilities in the Rupununi is improved. That discussion, like I said, is ongoing. I'm very optimistic that we would get a pilot abattoir here in the Rupununi. In addition to that, we're also looking at the establishment of a model station here in the Rupununi, looking not only at livestock, but both livestock and crops. And not only dealing with the animal themselves, but also looking at pasture and a number of other management systems, so that there could be that improvement within the whole livestock production systems within the Rupununi.
Other problems facing farmers countrywide include the challenge of finding adequate markets and the changing market prices.
We work with them in reducing the cost of production. Right? We work with them in trying to ensure that the genetic potential of the animal is exploited to its fullest. And in order for us to be able to do that, we work with them in ensuring that the feed that they provide for the animal is the right type. We work with them in ensuring that the management system that they use to raise the animal is of such that it will assist in reducing that cost, reducing the time that it takes them to get the animal to market so that the cost of production could be lower. so that they could be able to sell the animal at a price that is affordable to the consuming public.
There have also been issues regarding the lack of adequate pasture land and lack of adequate transportation, which hinder production. On the matter of pastures, Mr. Cumberbatch said that the adequate land for grazing is a necessity that many farmers tend to overlook, but that the benefits of providing adequate pasture land to livestock far outweigh any disadvantages.
We recognize that unless you have adequate pasturage and good pastures, you certainly cannot exploit the potential of those of your grazing animals. It's a problem that we have, one that we continuously work with our farmers to improve, not only in terms of planting their pastures, but also in terms of the utilization of the pastures and the management of the pastures.
With regard to transportation, noting that as a significant problem, the CEO said that the institution is working to improve the way they transport cattle and other livestock across the country as well.
We are working towards the building of a barge to be able to transport animals along our riverine areas in a more humane way. The way animals are transported in those areas leave a whole lot to be desired. So we're building a barge, and we're going to be assisting the farming community to be able to transport animals in a more humane way. We have also a cattle trailer, so that rather than forcing animals up into a truck, you walk the animals into the trailer, and you know when they're going to be transported along the roadways. We have to improve the way we do things within the whole sector, and that is one of the ways that we are going to be working with this year to ensure that the animals are transported in a much more humane way than they presently are transported.
With all this work and aim towards self-sufficiency, on the other hand, the question arises as to whether the country is producing meat at a level that could also be exported. In this regard, Mr. Cumberbatch said that there is some way to go before the country can begin to export meat and meat products.
One of the problems clearly lie with our abattoir slaughter facilities. Unless we can put in proper slaughter facilities, it is going to be extremely difficult for us to export livestock products. In the poultry sector, we need to do a risk analysis, and if we do that, and our risk is not that great, the possibility exists for us to be able to export poultry products from Guyana. But in terms of other meats, certainly the need of an abattoir is critical in that regard.
But even as the GLDA tackles these problems, it is still certain that the livestock sector of Guyana is secure, as the country's livestock production is at a sustainable level, which sees little to no importation of products, with the exception of processed meat and dairy. As time goes by, efforts will be made to create a vibrant dairy industry, thereby reducing the import of these products altogether. Join us next week when we continue this two-part series with focus on the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute and its involvement in the development of the local agriculture sector. These institutions, according to their mandate, will continue to carry out a packed agenda of programs aimed at supporting farmers and other key stakeholders as Guyana continues to develop its agriculture sector. This is Jasmine Payne. Thank you for joining us.